Ruby Kayser, and I'm a defensive specialist on the CSU Volleyball team here. I'm studying journalism and media communication with a minor in sports management with aspirations of becoming a sports broadcaster, like sideline or analyzing, that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm from a really small town. It's called Canby. It's about 30 minutes south of Portland, but small town vibes. There's one high school, that sort of thing. I grew up with horses. I feel like when I was really little, softball was my thing. You start volleyball a little later, and so I started volleyball when I was in 3rd grade. I figured out I was probably better at volleyball when I was in about 6th grade. I was on my first competitive club team that year, and that's when I really fell in love with it. My freshman year of high school, I was at a club tournament. My coach came up to me and was like, "Oh, you got some cards from college coaches." I really didn't think about playing in college until I got that card, and I don't know why. I think just because I was like, oh, I'm not ready for that yet, or I wasn't in that mindset. And then I got that card and I was like, oh shoot, I could actually go play at a really high level. And my mom cried. She was like, no way, my daughter is like already talking about college. She's only like 14, 15, and CSU was pretty late for me, and recruiting is such an up and down experience, especially for my position. Defensive players always get recruited last. You have to put in a lot more work to get recruited as a defensive player because you're not putting up those offensive stats. I was also playing up on an 18U team, and for 18U nationals they go in May early, so the girls that go to college can leave in June for college. I was the only junior on my team, everyone else was seniors, and most of the girls at the 18U qualifiers are already committed.
Yeah, when we first started recruiting Ruby, our head coach at the time, Tom, was the one who first saw her at the tournament, made an evaluation that this kid is really talented, she's not committed anywhere, let's call her and see where she's at in the process, and that's where I first touched base with her, and she was open.
I had a handful of interest after that tournament, so I scheduled a ton of visits for the summer. But CSU was my first one, so I was literally coming home and then gonna go leave to come see CSU. Go on the visit, I absolutely loved it. It was in the summer. Fort Collins in the summer is like to die for. I loved Tom. I got to hang out with the girls. I had probably 5 more visits scheduled that summer, and I told my mom, I'm like, I don't think I want to go on any more visits. I think this is good for me, and I really do feel like I made the right decision, and I love it here, and that's a great feeling. And there's been a lot of ups and downs, but I'm really glad that I ended up here. So playing in Moby is one of the coolest things ever. What women's athlete can say that they've played in front of 9,000 people before? I can say that. We beat our rival school in front of 9,000 people, and there's so many cool little parts, but I think just having that community is what's been the most important to me. I came to a school that I knew I was gonna have to earn a spot at, and it wasn't gonna be handed to me. And my freshman year, there were 6 people in my position, and I've never even had one other person in my position in club or in high school. And one really big defining moment for me was the beginning of my sophomore year here. I traveled my whole freshman year. I was one of the only freshmen that traveled, and I was kind of 7th man off the bench. I was coming out of a class, and Tom had texted me and was like, call me right away. I called him after class, and I'm on my way to practice to walk through. I was supposed to leave for North Carolina the next day, and he called me and told me that I wasn't gonna be on the travel roster, and I was shocked. It was the lowest I've felt in my athletic career, because I was like, dang, I don't know how to come out of this. And it ended up being such a great motivator for me. I think I really took it in the right way. I came out in practice and I was like, I'm not gonna self-destruct. I'm not gonna let this change how I play volleyball, but I'm going to use it. And in 2 weeks I took the starting spot, and I've been a starter since then.
College athletics is one of the hardest experiences for anyone to come into because they're all usually one of the all-stars on their high school or their club teams, and you come into college and everyone's as good as you or better than you. And seeing Ruby respond in a way that she buckled down and she started working harder and she stuck to it, and then it would have been easy to quit and move on and go on to something a little bit easier, but she's a really gritty person and she made her mind up that she was going to make it happen here and she was going to earn her way not only to it like a travel roster spot, but to be on the court and be a starter, and now she is one of our leaders on our team.
I definitely think that she brings a competitive fire and a vocal aspect to that. Like, she's always trying to bring people up or cheer people on when maybe they're not doing so well. And she's always there to support others, and you know that she wants the best for the team and not just for herself. And I think that's something that she really brings, and she's very selfless on the court.
I think that says just a lot about her personality and her grit in this world, that it wasn't easy and she saw a lot of adversity and she was able to set some goals and work really hard to overcome that.
I came in with like 20 different careers that I wanted to do, and like I decided basically when my counselor was like, you have to pick or else you're gonna have to go to school longer. And so that's when I kind of talked to Emily. I was like, I don't know like what I want to do, and she was like,
okay, what if you did kind of marketing for sports because you have a big bubbly personality for it. She's a really hard worker and she can talk a lot of different sports because she played them and she is an athlete, and so she just started exploring it, and it's been fun to watch her blossom as she's gotten more and more exposure to the industry. And in my 15 years of being a college coach, she's one of the most well-resumed athletes as she's leaving here, that she's had so many internships and experiences.
Alongside Ruby Kayser. Ruby obviously joining us here. We had a great time the last time the Rams split, and trying to get back on the winning track because they've only won one series back here. They've lost 2 of 3 in their last 2 road trips.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back here. I think the Rams have a little luck on their side with Utah State not winning at CSU since 2017. So they have a little bit of a home field advantage here, I think, today, especially on the new field. So.
Now we do have a very special first pitch coming out here, the ceremony of first pitch being tossed out by Jennifer Roberts. And Ruby, I know you know a lot about the story, why we're honoring Jennifer here today. Give us a little insight onto why we're celebrating this momentous occasion, because it's a fantastic story.
Yeah, so she was on that 1992 Rams team that got cut with some budget issues, and then her and a few of her teammates took that and filed a lawsuit against Colorado State, ended up going all the way to the Supreme Court, and they won on Title IX. And so it's pretty awesome to be back here, especially with Title IX and this big donation in honor of Title IX this year. And so I'm really excited to talk to her later.
I started like doing the CTV stuff my sophomore year, and so that's kind of when I realized that I was like, okay, like I really like this stuff. Thanks, Ella. When it comes to CSU football, I think it's easy to focus on wins and losses, but there's a lot more to this program than that. Griffin Vanderwert has overcome some huge obstacles, but that hasn't stopped him from contributing to the team this season. His story is a great example of what it means to be a Ram. Check it out. I have started doing some play-by-play and like analyzing for softball and women's basketball, which has been super fun, and Tom and Emily have also helped me so much. Emily has a million connections and she's always been in my corner. A dream job would to be like have a package with ESPN and get to do college football and baseball, and then get to do volleyball and softball too. I want to do all these different things. I have a dog, so I walk my dog every single day. It has helped my mental health so much. If I have a horrible day at practice, I come home and like she is so excited to see me, and it's like I have another life that I have to like worry about. It almost makes me like more selfless, where it's like I don't need to like think about like, oh my gosh, I like passed 2 balls bad in practice. There's bigger things in volleyball, and so I really like being like the person on the team that kind of brings people together.
I actually met Ruby when we came up on our visits. Probably one of the reasons that I chose to come here was because she was so friendly and so down to earth and kind to me when I came. She walks in a room and lights it up and brings comfort to every situation that she's in. She basically says yes to everything you ask of her, and I think that's a great attribute of a friend, that she's reliable in everything she does.
Knowing who she is and what she stands for and what she's trying to become in the future is one of my favorite things to watch about Ruby, because she is a pretty convicted person, and I can't wait when she does graduate. Even she's going to go again chase big things and be a good representative for our program long after she's wearing the jersey still.